Thank you, Mr. Wookie. Better late than never, I say. We're back. Hour number 2 of Freaky Friday on your protection from deception, TFRlive.com. Again, join us in the chat room, TFRlive.com/chat, where you can be knighted a Wookie of the round pyramid style, like.
People will say we're Illuminati if you mention pyramid and all that kind of stuff.
Kev Illuminati.
Joe Illuminati. Joe Bob SquarePants. I'm telling you, man. And without giving any spoilers away, have we been indulging? Have we been indulging? That's all I'm saying. Have we been sampling?
I'm not listening to you. La, 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 la,
I've still got some to go. I'm giving nothing away. I'm just asking.
La, 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 la. I'm not talking about it, no.
Like that, is it, Joe? Just not even bringing it into your consciousness. Stranger Things 3, everyone. That's what I'm talking about. You must be what?
I'm not doing it.
I don't do spoilers, dude. I hate people that do spoilers, man.
But all I can say is, yeah.
Good, man.
And it starts out slow, but hey.
Yep.
I'm not at the good part yet, but Kev says it gets better.
Oh, it definitely gets.
Anything he says, because he's going to freaking spoil it for you.
No, I'm not going to spoil anything. All I said was it gets back to real Stranger Things kind of stuff, man. Really, really cool. And at a time when we're talking about mirror worlds and people at Oak Ridge Laboratory that may or may not be the lab that the story around Stranger Things is based, and they're, opening portals and things. I don't know, dude. I don't know. It's like we're living in some kind of movie at times. It really is.
The Russians did it.
Oh, you see, it's not the pesky Russians, Joe.
It was the Russians.
I can't say a word. My handlers are listening.
I know. Mm-hmm. Just be very, very, very aware of the fact.
Ankovsky's on the couch. Yeah.
But I am going to I'm going to finish watching that this weekend. Absolutely. I watched 3 episodes already, so I'm into it. But I had to stop myself and said, I'm going to sleep before I go to work.
It's one of those ones. It's binge-tastic, man. They know what they're doing. They've targeted the dopamine center the last 5 minutes of every episode, so you want to just keep going. It's craziness, man. It's good though.
So yeah, man, I can't wait to watch it and finish it, and then be totally depressed that it's done, it's over. That's the other reason why I hate binge watching, because it's like, awesome, done.
So when's a suitable time? I mean, how long do you have to wait so that people don't say you're giving out spoilers? Yeah,
I don't know, because they people got pissed when that latest Marvel's movies. I guess some people went on and spoiled it, the ending or something like that, and it was well after it came out, and people were pissed that they were still talking about it. So I don't know. But
there must be some kind of social etiquette. There must be some rule out there. Some unwritten
nobody
rule.
likes the spoiler, Kev.
I'm not a spoiler. Everyone knows that, dude. And sister, she's terrible for it.
You have a tendency that you want to, though, and I can feel it.
No. You see, Joe, after all these...
I feel that conniving little frickin' inside you going... Blah, blah, blah,
after all these years, and you still don't know me. That's terrible, man.
I'm just busting you.
You see, that's
so
terrible.
Where are we going here, man?
Well, I think we should, since we're talking about portals, right?
Okay.
I think we should go back to Crowley's place, because we spoke about this the other night. But because it was getting late on in the UK, we lost a whole heap of the UK audience. And since it's Freaky Friday, I mean, what better story is there? Especially the deeper you get into this story, Joe, about Boleskine House. Because what's going to be going on there in the future... It really has me quite worried. And I say that, I'm laughing, I'm smiling, but it's more of a nervous laugh. Because I've been there, and if there's one place that I've said it before, but if there's one energetic place that I know of, that I've felt, that I've really touched, it's that location, that property, whatever that cat Crowley done there back in the early 1900s when he was casting spells and summoning the Duke of Hell and all these other things he was getting up to, it's left an imprint. It's left an opening. You don't need to go to Oak Ridge Lab and a neutron gun to open up a portal to the other side. There's one there. There's many around the world. And now they're talking about, well, they're basically going to be teaching Crowley lessons there. Joe, have you got the story there? Do you want to kind of go over this, or do you want me to go over it? You got it there?
I do. Hold on one second, because it just did something to me. Ads powered, but what the hell?
Oh, yeah.
Here we go. Yes, the terrible pop-ups from time to time.
Plus, Scott never had a chance to discuss this with us either. Scott, okay. This is going to blow your mind. So, anyway, if you heard this, great. If not, it's really an unbelievable situation. And it says here, followers of occultist Aleister Crowley to be welcomed back to his former Highland home. And of course, that was right down the street from Kev's place. You know, back in the day, you know, he used to knock on the door of Boleskine House. I love calling it Boleskine House just because it... I know you do.
Sounds like Boleskine. Anyway, this is right down... It's not far from where you lived on Loch Ness, right?
Nah, but 10, 15 miles. Yeah.
Yeah, right? So not far. Just to give you some proximity. But it's being restored and converted into a wellness retreat where yoga and meditation will be taught, as well as the teachings of the notorious religious leader. Now, Boleskine House, on the southwest banks of Loch Ness, was destroyed by a fire in 2015, but has now been purchased by 3 as yet unnamed investors who paid a total of 500,000 quid for the property and gardens. The Boleskine Foundation has now been launched to drive the restoration of the property, with parts of the historic estate, which was built in the 1760s, to be open to the public. Meanwhile, it's understood that the Boleskine Foundation... So let me stop there for just 1 second before we get into the really juicy stuff. That this Boleskine Foundation actually is classifying this place as a museum. So that, in the eyes of government, you know, it's probably looking like a non-profit, not-for-profit museum type of entity that's there, where driven by this whole wellness center concept. Now, interestingly enough, and this is what we talked about the other night when we were discussing this, Scotty, is how they're doing yoga and meditation at this place. Now, that's very, very dangerous when you consider what he messed around with at that place.
Yeah, the first thing that popped in my head when you read that was, they're going to be getting people in there to freaking open up their minds and open themselves up to all kinds of craziness.
And Scott, get this right, because this Boleskine Foundation says here has been in discussion with the Order Templi Orientis, the OTO.
Oh, you went there.
Yeah, a religious organization previously led by Crowley, about giving access to its followers.
So they're going to use it for quote, religious rituals, which of course religious just means doing something repetitively. So you're going to see a lot of ritualistic things that go on there that
it's already a hedonistic little place, let me tell you.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's going to take it to the next level, and it's all done under this guise that, it's a museum, it's okay. Now, Crowley developed the religion of Thelema with many Thelemites who believe in the individualism and the power of free will. Remember, do as thou wilt is Crowley's big saying. And it's considering Boleskine House to be a holy place. A statement on their foundation website said it wanted to preserve the historical legacy and heritage of the estate for the greater benefit of the public. It added, upon its complete restoration, our volunteers intend to use the estate to promote education on the heritage of the house, to welcome the enjoyment of its structure and surrounding gardens, and to help generate awareness of health and wellness. Such initiatives will include active outreach into the community, of which Boleskine House and its surrounding lands hold significant historic value and benefit. Now, again, this to me, if I'm just looking at this strictly from a tinfoil hat perspective, and I am,
at least you admit
then what
it.
they're doing is this Boleskine Foundation or whatever is actually going to recruit people or actively bring people to this place to open up their minds, to be inhabited, then send them back. And it's going to be this assembly line of demonic possession. And slowly but surely, the inhabitants of Loch Ness and everybody else in the surrounding areas are going to become zombies. And then the zombie apocalypse comes to Loch Ness. And that's when Nessie...
we don't even need to go that far, right? We don't need to go that far.
To keep her army of zombies.
To keep it within the realms of, like, logic. But I've been looking a lot at internet cults lately. And I tell you what, if there's ever going to be a cult in the real world, all you need to look to is this place. What a brilliant place to have the compound. And like you say, all these initiates from around the world coming to take lessons in Thelema.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, isn't the Blue Chickens tied to that stuff too?
No, well, I don't know. I don't know. The Blue Chicken.
That place out west where they...
that's that Jay-Z night.
Yeah.
That's more
Isn't that kind of similar to this?
Yeah, you've got them. I mean, the link between that 17th letter of the alphabet and the Blue Chickens, Mr. Sather.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Exactly.
He's promoted books by Jay-Z night before, and I believe he's been to the compound.
Isn't that kind of like similar in nature?
It could be, yeah, why not? I mean, that's what this sounds like. It sounds like one of these kind of new age kind of retreats, right?
Yeah, I just wonder how this all.
I still have a problem with this whole yoga thing being evil, and I'm not saying it's not, Joe. It's just I really don't think people doing yoga are.
It's not. Listen.
No. It's a tool. It's a tool. Yes.
Yeah, the act itself is not it. It's like it's like blaming a gun for a murder.
Yeah. Right. Oh, that's cool.
But the fact remains that if you are not spiritually grounded and you do that, you're opening yourself up to something that you aren't prepared for.
You see, I just wasn't ready for us throwing...
It's all about intent also, Kev.
Yeah, right. I didn't want us throwing all these soccer mom yoga people under the bus, Scott, I just wasn't comfortable with that.
No. And I'm with you on that too. I think people doing yoga, if your intent is good and that you can see benefit stuff from it.
The fallen ones gave us knowledge, right? That's all it is. It's tools. We weren't supposed to understand some things or give some things, but it happened. And so those tools exist now. And it doesn't make the tool's not good or bad. It just is.
Yep, I get you.
But humans, we can go either way on that side, So it's just like, if you're gonna do it in that way, you just have to be. You have to be spiritually grounded, and at least of sound mind, and being able to ward off anything like that. And I got to be honest with you. When that stuff happens, you don't know it happens oftentimes. That's what makes it so hard.
I'm just saying, yeah. If you're going into Boleskine House, and you're like, I'm gonna go do some yoga and meditation and open up.
All I'm gonna say is, you get what's coming to you doing that. That's all.
That you're just asking for a world of hurt, man.
Yeah, you're offering yourself up to the other side.
Man, like what?
But it goes on to say here, right? Such communities include, but are not limited to, the local community of Foyers. That's where I used to play my shinty for Boleskine. Just saying. The wider community of Scottish heritage and historic environment, and communities who value Boleskine to be of significant spiritual import, of which we will promote events and activities that facilitate health and wellness, such as meditation and yoga, as well as the education on Thelema, a spiritual legacy forwarded by previous Boleskine House owner Aleister Crowley. A statement on the Thelemites' website said that it was truly fantastic news that the new owners intended to cooperate with the OTO to allow access to the house and land in a way, quote, which has hitherto not been possible. Only wizards talk like that, which has hitherto not been possible.
And attorneys.
Crowley, who bought Boleskine in, well, it's 1899, not 1900, conducted various black magic rituals at the house, including a 6-month-long experiment to raise his guardian angel. Well, you flip that round and you find out it was the Earl of Hell that he was trying to summon. And it said this experiment was not properly completed, with the spirits raised by Crowley never fully banished, leading to a number of unexplained events at Boleskine. Crowley developed the new religion of Thelema, which observes a number of feasts throughout the year, after honeymooning in Egypt in 1904, and he claims to have been contacted by a supernatural entity that looked like a grey and had hairy legs and hoofs, just adding that in there, who provided him the Book of the Law, a sacred text that served as the basis for Thelema. Now, they include the feast of the first night of the prophet and the bride on August the 12th, which celebrates Crowley's first marriage to Rose Kelly, who assisted in his original revelations. Now, that's a cult, isn't it, when you're like celebrating the leader's kind of significant dates?
That's certainly what it sounds like to me.
So it says, while it is planned to open up the main rooms of Boleskine House to the public, the property will be closed at certain times of the year to be used by those, quote, who consider the house and lands to have spiritual importance. So they're going to be conducting Crowley-type magic. That's what that basically means. Memorial celebrations may also be held in the gardens, where ashes can be scattered for certain communities who feel the estate holds spiritual importance.
Ah, you know what, though? That's great fertilizer. Keeps the pH neutral.
Well, it certainly does.
Nice.
Well, before we go to the break, then, let's take a look at Thelema. We've heard of the 10 Commandments. Well, we've got the 11 principles of the Thelemites. Number 1, I know that exploring and expressing myself is my right and my purpose. Number 2, I know that every single other being also has the same right and purpose to explore and express their natures.
By the way, so far so good, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Number 3, I accept all people no matter what they look like or believe, and I accept all moments no matter if they are good or bad. Again, there's nothing at all evil sounding about that.
Nope.
Number 4, I am always growing, always searching, and striving ever to more in all things. Again, not that bad. Number 5, I look at the difficult things in life as my teachers that help me grow, and I embrace them. Next, I never forget that being alive and being aware is a mysterious blessing that always deserves gratitude and joy. I enjoy the beauty in everyone and everything else, and I help to bring more beauty to the world. Number 8, I seek truth. I think for myself. I am honest with myself and others, and I question myself and others. Sounds like the truth community. Number 9, I explore and develop my creativity in all aspects of life, and I help others to do the same. Number 10, I am connected with everything in the universe, so I live in harmony with other people, animal, plants, and all other things on Earth and in the whole cosmos. Number 11, I laugh. I enjoy all parts of the world, and I do not take myself too seriously. Wow. There we go.
Now, knowing that, right? Nothing wrong with those.
Mm-mm.
But that's the way that it should be.
All of them were quite common sense, weren't they? They were quite...
But what does that have to do with rising by summoning the Earl of Hell?
Exactly. I don't know, dude.
See what
I
I'm
don't know.
saying?
Yeah.
Okay, so that I don't get it.
And he was,
Well,
I mean, he
it's a
described
lot of
himself, Scott. I mean, he was self-described as the most evil man on earth. That was him that kind of dubbed himself that, you know?
Yeah, you know what this kind of reminds me of? This reminds me of the Lucius Trust stuff that we
Ooh.
talked about, right? And so remember, you go to the Lucius Trust website.
Well, because Alice Bailey was really into Aleister Crowley and vice versa.
Yeah, and
Alice
so
Bailey is who founded the Lucius Trust.
yes, and so you read the description, right? You read kind of what they're about on their website, and on the surface, it sounds really good. You know,
That's
it sounds okay. I can get into that. You know, there's nothing nefarious about anything they're saying here. It all makes sense. You know, it all sounds like some common sense stuff. But
Sounds
that's
like Tangy Tangerine.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the Lucius Trust website. It's been a while since we've been here, boys, but yeah, big banner on it. Let the plan of love and light work out.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so it's kind of like this, you know, new agey talk that, you know, it sounds all nice and it sounds like, you know, but then it's like as you get more into it and that's the way they hook you in, you know, that's how they get you to you know, join this stuff. And then it's like as you get deeper and deeper into it,
That's right.
then
it's done.
Start seeing the truth of what's really going on, you know.
And the way they do it is levels, right? So based on your level is how much you gain access to that next level of information. And you get to those levels based on your motivation and your drive to get there. That's how they get the mind of these people to want to go and do more and know more. And so it drives them to do it. That's why that whole hierarchy is there. It's striving to get to that next. It's almost Pavlovian in a way, you know, ring the bell, go here.
It's like the Masons, depending on what.
But that's why they do it.
Yeah.
They all use that same structure because it's human conditioning.
Because it works, bro. It works.
Oh, it's unbelievably effective.
Yep.
Unbelievable. And everybody does. Everybody uses it. But
so you approach somebody who might not even know anything about Thelema, right? Or they might not even know.
Great. Yeah, come to our commune.
Yeah, if they don't know anything about Aleister Crowley, they don't know anything about Thelema or whatever, and you just go up to a completely naive person who doesn't know anything about this stuff, and then you lay out those 11 tenets right there that Kev just laid out. They'd be like, "Wow, that sounds really cool. You know, I'm all in. Let's go." You know,
yeah,
and so
that sounds really good. And so you go, and then like I said, slowly but surely, you know, you start. That's what you do is you just start making compromises. Slowly making compromise. Before you know it,
they're meditating and doing yoga right there where Crowley opened the portal. And
bear in mind, folks, bear in mind when you think about all the darker stuff that goes on in Hollywood that you hear about and things like that in the music industry, this is their religion. This is what they're into, Thelema. You know, you seen Peaches Geldof when she passed away. Big picture of her like home library, guys, and it was all like the teachings and the works of Aleister Crowley. You see Jay-Z, do what thou wilt. I was just looking at that same website there. That's one of the first quotes they've got from Crowley. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. You know, so you see that these people, and if you think there's a darker side, a darker underbelly to the entertainment, this is where it comes from. So it might sound all love and light on the outside. And to tell you what, if I had no idea that came from Aleister Crowley and somebody said, Kev, here's 11 ideas. What do you think of these? I would have been championing these around the world because these all kind of make sense, right? You know, what's wrong with wanting to laugh and not taking yourself too seriously? What's wrong with seeking truth?
That came from the book of the law, which he said was given to him.
Yep.
Right. But do you see below the quotations from Aleister Crowley speaking about these 11 tenets, if you will? After the break, we'll get into what Crowley said they meant to him.
Yep.
Because I think it's important, because you get a little more of a view of where he's coming from.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Second half of today's Freaky Friday, right here on Truth Frequency Radio, www.tfrlive.com. And I'm going to take a quick drink of my coffee here because we have turned the woo factor up to number 11 and the dial only goes to 10. And Scott, it's Crowley, man. And I don't know, dude, even talking about this character now still gives me that feeling. Like I'm back there in the moment at Boleskine House, and we found some stuff during the break as well. We're going to continue on this because this is Freaky Friday gold, dude. Lucius, trust, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, what do you make of them teaching Thelema up on the banks of Loch Ness, Scott?
Yeah, I don't see anything good coming out of that, and I don't see anybody who goes up there and engages in any of that. I don't see anything beneficial coming to them in the near future. And like I said, unfortunately, I think it's going to be a lot of people who are naive and don't even know who Crowley is that are going to be recruited to go up there, and get sucked into it.
I still want to know who's bought it. That's what really interests me. Who's the 3 characters that shelled out £500,000 who are liaising with the OTO and are hoping to turn this into some kind of magical Harry Potter wonderland for bloody Crowley lovers? But before we get back into it, guys, I want to correct things because I was saying that this god Pan looked like an alien, right? And during the break, I found out the alien-looking one is actually called Lam, L-A-M. Really? But Pan is also something as well, and Pan's interesting, right? Because Pan is horned, and he has hairy legs.
Yeah. There was actually Pan caves in the Middle East. Yeah.
Well, Joe, this is where it gets interesting, right? And I've told this story before, but I think it's worthy again, especially when they're talking about opening up a school dedicated to the teachings of Crowley near Loch Ness, because you go back to, I think it was the 50s or 60s, a part of the stories are relevant, and it was a village dance. It's a really small village, so you've got a really small village hall, and everyone knows everyone else. So the men and women, they're all dancing away, and all the girls in the village, all the local ladies, they're all absolutely falling over themselves because there's a stranger at the dance. It's like fresh blood, somebody they haven't seen before. Handsome guy, really handsome. And everyone was really wanting to dance with this dude. So long story short, one of the locals, she gets dancing with them. They get close, and it comes to the end of the night, and the lights go on. And when the lights come on, she looked at him and he looked at her. And the next minute she looked down and she swears, and it's a story that still goes around Fort Augustus to this day, that this handsome dude who was in the kilt, well, below his kilt was hairy legs and he had hoven feet. He had hoofs on him. And he took off out the hall, and after, people realized what was happening, the guys there, they chased him out the hall, and the thing was just gone. And I say it's a thing because it wasn't a man. It was gone. Now, why is that important? Well, it's important.
It wasn't a man. It was a pan.
It was a pan, but it's important, right? Because if he did leave that portal open, and this was the thing that basically he was channeling for this book of was it, Joe, the Book of the Law, or the Law of One, whatever it's called?
The Book of the Law, I think it was, right?
Yep. I mean, I know it's putting 2 and 2 together, right? But literally, you could make a case for whatever was experienced at that party, that dance that night, was a result of what Crowley opened up in Boleskine House.
I would have to
And now
imagine.
they're going to be going back, and Joe, I'd have to imagine that these people are very, very clued in on the work of Crowley, and in fact, they're probably very clued in on the magic that the OTO and everything else probably still a cult from the public. And who honestly knows what's going to happen?
By the way, many other schools of
goat's legs. That's from my mother. Goat's legs. She's correcting me. It was like the legs of a goat.
Right, but still, cloven hoof feet.
It works.
Like
yeah.
right. Now, like I said, there's many organizations that buy into this, so it's not strictly OTO and things like that, but they look to Crowley as, a visionary, even a prophet sometimes, which blows my mind. But to give you a better idea of what he was all about, I want to put it in his own words so that you can see kind of that dark underbelly that exists here with him. And again, he's self-professed that, he was evil, so we got that going for us. But these are all quotations from Aleister Crowley.
Aleister Crowley.
Crowley. And so,
Mr. Crowley.
Crowley. Number 2, I know that every single other being also has the same right and purpose to explore and express their natures. So his comments on that are, do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. He also wrote, so with thy all, thou hast no right but to do thy will. Do that, and no other shall say nay. Why, Kev, in the 20th century, was he speaking with thy and that and thou?
Because if I was a prospective kind of
is that what you do? Is
if I'm a cult leader, if I'm wanting to write a religion, yeah, you got to use these kind of words, dude.
Oh,
yeah.
If
it doesn't have the same effect. It doesn't have the same effect. Just saying, just do what you want. Just crack on. Nobody's going to say no to you.
Crack on. I like it. See, I would buy into that, Kev. Crack on, bitches. Do it. And no one will say otherwise.
You see, 20 years from now, they'll be playing this podcast saying, look, this is where the idea was formed.
This is where that came from. It was the wheelchair.
Just do whatever you feel like doing there, man.
That's right. Get her done. So anyway, he also wrote, explore the nature and powers of your own being. Contemplate your own nature. Do not repress or restrict any true instinct of your nature, but devote all in perfection to the sole service of your one true will. And true will is capitalized, so that's interesting. But that, by the way, is not thou, thast, and all that. So he's kind of like, woo, I don't get it. I see what he's saying, though. Basically, do not repress or restrict any true instinct of your nature. No matter how animalistic or anything, don't repress it. Let it all out. What do you think about that, guys?
Yeah, this is where it starts to hit the slippery slope, Scotty boy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yes, this is where he's basically giving everyone carte blanche to engage in any kind of hedonistic activity that they want to engage in.
Can I say something right now, just as you are talking? I've got a real kind of a thought flew into my head here. But this here, when we're reading this out and when we're thinking about this, that this is what the New World Order religion will look like. This is what their new game in town will sound like.
I agree with you.
Exactly. And that's why, we brought up the Lucius Trust, and aren't they tied in with the UN?
Yeah. Oh, big time.
They are the publishing arm of the UN.
Yeah. So there you go. I mean, there's your direct connection between, Thelema, the Lucius Trust, the United Nations.
And for anyone out there thinking, well, the Lucius Trust, there's nothing like religious or cult-like connected to this. Well, they've got something on their front page called the Great Invocation, a world prayer and a mantra invoking light, love, and the spiritual purpose into human consciousness for the uplifting of all. And that sounds great, just like Thelema sounds great.
Oh, sounds wonderful.
On the surface, yeah.
Where do I sign up? No sign up?
Not even me. No, I know. I know. I wanted to guinea pig myself for the neural lace, but
That's what I was just gonna say. You'll do neural lace, but you won't do Alice Bailey.
I've been to Crowley's, dude. I've felt that.
It's bad. Hey, guess what else he said? He said this: "We are to do what we will, and leave others to do what they will."
That sounds like the mantra of a social justice warrior.
Totally.
Yep.
So
And if you don't agree with them, they'll hit you with a hammer.
We move on to number 3, where he says the law number 3 is, "I accept all people, no matter what they look like or believe, and I accept all moments, no matter if they're good or bad." He writes, "Every man and every woman is a star."
Not very inclusive, is he?
Ethel Merman show tunes.
He's not very inclusive, is he? What about the other 45 genders?
Yeah, right.
It's outdated. It's not all it's cracked up to be.
He has no idea. I'm offended by that.
I'm telling you, dude, I think he would come back and look at the world today and think, wow, they've implemented it.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Who knew?
Next one. Each human being is an element of the cosmos.
True.
Self-determined and supreme. Co-equal with all other gods. Listen to this.
Don't know about that one.
Bind nothing. Let there be no difference made among you between any one thing and any other thing, for thereby there cometh hurt.
That sounds like the slogan of our wrestler, cometh hurt.
Thereby cometh hurt.
Shouldn't laugh, man. Crowley's got things watching here, there, and everywhere, dude.
What's he saying there?
Now, Hulk Hogan, here cometh the hurt.
Woo! Had to get a bit of Ric Flair in there. Come on.
What he's basically saying is, have no allegiance. Have no allegiance. You know, when you look at marriage, no marriage. None of that. Because if you do that, that's where the hurt comes from. From these allegiances made and then disappointment, you know, or whatever. So that's what he's saying there. Is he wants the world to be a giant swingers club. And that's how he kind of ran Boleskine House. As far as I can, you know, based on what I've heard. It was like sexual Disneyland there. What else does he have here? Knew it is also all points of the view, no less than all vistas seen therefrom. Bind nothing, for all things alike pertain to her, and her nature is to compose all in one and naught. Wow.
What is he, a classical computer? Ones and zeros?
That's so funny. See, we laugh at really very dry humor, but it's good. It's good. One thing is, in the end, like all the rest, the seeming not alike comes as a dream from choosing images after one's own heart to worship them. Thus each, though true as one of the all, is false if thought of as one apart.
You'd have been absolutely awesome to have a smoke with, man. He talks in riddles. You'd be like, wow, listener, you're pretty
totally
cool.
Melted right
Yeah.
Now.
I'll take the next one for you, right? I'll take the next one. All is a never-ending play of love, wherein Our Lady knew it, and her Lord had it, rejoice. And every part of the play, why it's got part of the play in capitals is beyond me, is play.
It's weird.
All pain is it's like QAnon's been writing it. I'm just expecting kill brackets to come in a minute.
And it's unbelievable.
Is QAnon Crowley coming back from the grave? Just saying.
Oh
All pain is but sharp sauce to the dish of pleasure. What's he doing now? Is he cooking his dinner? For it is the nature of the universe that hath devised this everlasting banquet of joy. I tell you
he's
what,
got the munchies.
yeah, it sounds like he rustles up a good barbecue. Goes on to say,
on today's episode of Cooking with Crowley.
I don't believe it. Get this, boys. Get this right. You ready? All events, kill brackets open, become kill brackets closed. It's QAnon, I'm telling you. Equally indifferent. Exquisite phrases in an eternal symphony. And it's got in brackets. Imagine listening to Beethoven with the prepossession that C is a good note and F is a bad one. Yet this is exactly the standpoint from which uninitiates contemplate the universe. Obviously, they miss the music. Wonder if that's why they do that backmasking and backtracking in music. Just saying.
Yeah, maybe.
You must accept everything exactly as it is in itself, as one of the factors which go to make up your true self.
Capitalized again, and that's what I mean. I don't know what, like, true self, what he's referring to. Like, is that the universe?
You know, somebody says, "Is Crowley? Did he have mental illness?" Well, I heard because, and again, this is just.
I know he had syphilis.
Yeah, it's syphilis, so that does cause craziness. You know.
Oh, yeah.
It can go to the brain. So absolutely. I mean, that could arguably be the reason he thought he was speaking to entities that looked like gray aliens. Who knows?
I don't know how bad that progressed. If it was treated.
But then what does that say about the people who followed him?
Yeah. Ooh, boy, oh boy. Stay away from that stuff. That's all I'm gonna say.
Imagine being somebody in the gang, you know, that was like part of the Golden Dawn or the OTO office where Crowley was hanging out, and somebody was wanting to like emulate him and like outdo him. Imagine how evil that cat was. We've never heard of these people, you know.
And it seems to be the way that it is that there's always somebody out there wanting to outdo the last person. You notice that?
Yeah.
It just gets worse and worse. It never gets better.
Well, it's the same as when the pharaohs used to change over in Egypt and you get them hacking the faces off statues and off the temples and trying to put their own kind of mark on things, their own tag, you know?
Very much so.
Yep.
Yeah.
Quite interesting how he went to the pyramids as well.
Yeah.
Crowley to do the summoning.
To the detriment of all, you know, that's the really thing, really big thing, I should say, is that it really is to the detriment of all that we continue to go down that road. And it's because all of the incentive is there to do that, to go there. And unfortunately, I don't think humanity is capable of implementing the changes that need to be made to make things less desirable for people to go down that road. And it can be done, but it would take change at some of the highest levels and conceptually, you know, with societal structures. I mean, you have to change everything. But your girl AOC Kev has, to me, the most understanding out of anybody in our Congress about the conversations that have to be made and had about where we go from here and how to implement something along that or on that scale. I mean, you're talking about changing everything from power delivery to you're going to free energy and basically mass technology as far as, you know, getting it out to everybody, to the masses. So mass infrastructure projects and things like that. And basically reducing humanity's need for money because people will be self-sufficient without it. So now what?
And we'll all be getting taught Thelema in schools around the world and praying the Lucius Trust prayer.
But you see how it kind of starts melding in. It's interesting how things start kind of melding in and molding together. And this is one of those things. The things that we're talking about, these quote laws, if you will, they're not bad. These are just, again, this is the way they get people hooked in. And then you get taught the stuff that Crowley came up with, and it's just totally off the chain. It's crazy.
So what else is he saying, Joe? What else is he saying before we go to the break?
Okay, so let's see. Where are we? I can't remember where we left off.
We're going on to number 5, I think, but there's 11. So we'll try and scan, see if there's a good one, eh?
Okay, so let's see. Okay, 5. I look at the difficult things in life as my teachers that help me grow, and I embrace them. It says here, Crowley writes, "Thou then," we're back to thou then. "Thou then, man, who has trials and troubles, man, rejoice because of them, for in them is strength, man, and by their means in a pathway opened unto the light." There you go. Now, how should it be otherwise, O man, whose life is but a day in eternity, a drop in the ocean of time? How were thy trials not many? Couldst thou purge thy soul from the dross of the earth? Is it but now that the higher life is beset with dangers and difficulties? Hath it not ever been so with the sages and hierophants of the past? They have been persecuted and reviled. They have been tormented of men. Yet through this also has their glory increased. Rejoice therefore, O initiate, for the greater thy trial, the greater thy triumph. Is that good?
You've got it down, man. They might hire you to do a Friday gig at Boleskine House, man.
Yeah.
You come in with a really well-groomed goat and perform for the audience, Joe.
Okay, here we go. Here's the next one. Sorrow, pain, regret are symptoms of diseased thought. Those only who have ceased to be able to adjust themselves rightly and gladly to all change and to grow thereby, or those who still react, but only feebly and vainly, take sorrow, pain, and regret to be real. Those also who do not yet know had it, that is, know their true selves to be had it. I don't know what had it is, are likewise deceived. What's had it? Anybody? Anyone? Bueller?
I'll check it out. I'll have a look.
Okay. It says here to bring out saliently, to bring out saliently the differences between 2 points of view is useful both in measuring the position of each in the whole. Combat stimulates the virile or creative energy, and like love, of which it is one form, excites the mind to an orgasm which enables it to transcend its rational dullness. I mean, this guy is smoking.
Well, here's had it. Here, had it, sometimes had. You see, he's cool. He's had. Refers to the Thelemic deity. Had it is the principal speaker and the second chapter of the Book of the Law, and may refer to the serpent Apophis, the Kundalini, and the Atman.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, so
we'll just get this. It says here, had it identifies himself as the point in the center of the circle, the axle of the wheel, the cube in the circle, the flame that burns in every heart of a man and in the core of every star, and the worshipper's own inner self, it has been interpreted as the inner spirit of the man, the Holy Ghost, the sperm and the egg in which the DNA of a man is carried, the elixir vitae. When juxtaposed
wow, got many hats. Holy crap!
When juxtaposed with Nuit, who is a goddess in Thelema, Hadit represents each unique point experience. These point experiences in aggregate comprise the sum of all possible experience called Nuith. Oh, I'm just waiting for a goat to come into the living room behind me or something here, man. We could be summoning some Ooga Boogas, Joe. You're already getting plagued with the damn things, and here we are, like, reciting the big man.
You were the one that was doing it. Listen to this. You went to Boleskine House, dude. That's all I got to say. And I told you, don't go, and you did anyway.
Well, by the end of this month, I'll either have new footage or new audio of something else.
I can't wait to... I'm not going to... Are you kidding me? Yeah. You're going to make me watch it?
Yeah, I'm going to make you watch it.
Yes, again. Better late than never, Mr. Wookie. Yeah, shower number 3. He's getting tired. Joe Joseph here. Scotty Lopez, Kev Baker. It's Freaky Friday on your protection from deception. TFRlive.com. That chat room is just, wow. Some really interesting gifts going on in there. TFRlive.com/chat. Going over some of the Book of the Law of Thelema and Crowley's musings on it. Number 7, I enjoy.
I'm having to do it, Joe. I'm having to do it. I'm looking at the video on YouTube of when I went there, man. I've had to do it. Yep. Scene of the crime, man. I had to be done.
I know. Says, I enjoy the beauty in everyone and everything else, and I help to bring more beauty to the world. Crowley writes, the greatest, like Rembrandt, paint a gallant, a hag, and a carcass with equal passion and rapture. They love the truth as it is. They do not admit that anything can be ugly or evil. Its existence justifies itself. This is because they know themselves to be part of a harmonious unity. To disdain any item of it would be to blaspheme the whole. The Thelemite is able to revel in any experience soever, in each he recognizes the tokens of ultimate truth. And a carcass or a hag.
Doesn't sound too appealing.
I guess what he's basically saying is, there's balance. There's dark, there's light, there's ugly, there's beauty, there's everything, and there's beauty in the ugly, and there's ugly in the beauty. And you have to enjoy the truth in everything. Okay. I mean, I can see that.
Yep.
No, I mean, I don't have anything. I don't see anything wrong with that, because it's true. Oftentimes people see things very one-sided, and oftentimes in a very self-serving manner. Well, looking at things in that way would, at least in my humble opinion, would at least get people to be thinking a little more selflessly. But it's all in how you I don't know. Knowing his nature, he wasn't really that much of a selfless individual, if you will. Let's see, number 10. We'll skip down to 10. It says, I am connected with everything in the universe, so I live in harmony with other people, animals, plants, and all other things on the earth and in the whole cosmos. My gosh, that is a lot of harmony going on, guys. I am all about harmony. Yeah.
I think he's right, though.
Yeah.
I think we share an entanglement with everything else out there.
I do
Some
too.
stronger than others,
It's amazing. You know, a lot of people say, I'm just one person. I can't make change. But you can. And it's very interesting how just one molecule, one particle can change and have, I mean, unbelievable implications somewhere on the other side of the universe. And you have no idea that change that you're making and how powerful you are. You know, it's just unbelievable. That's when you look at how things really are, that's how it is. And we're all connected, all part of that same matrix.
Simulation, yeah.
Yes, however you want to call it,
Yep.
sure.
Yep.
Now, Crowley writes, bind nothing. And let there be no difference made among you between any one thing. I'm wearing like a pyramid head. And any other thing. For thereby there cometh hurt. But whoso availeth in this, let him be the chief of all.
There cometh the hurt again, man.
I know he's not really big on that. He says we cannot extirpate. We cannot extirpate or even alter in the minutest degree either the matter or manner of any element of the universe. Here, each item is equally inherent and important, each equivalent, independent and interdependent. Blah, blah, blah. Then there's the greatest know themselves to be part of an harmonious unity. To disdain any item of it would be to blaspheme the whole. It is surely obvious, even intellectually, that all phenomena are interdependent and therefore involve each other. So again, just more affirmative on his part that everything is connected. Which again, I agree with.
I think that's something that's been hidden from way back. That's one of these ancient mystery school type kind of headlines, I think. Yeah.
But it's also stuff that people just don't have time to think about, really. It doesn't really, we're not taught to, we're never taught that we should live in harmony with things like, it seems to me that would be kind of more built into us, but it isn't.
Because that's no good for ruling people.
No, at least, controlling for sure. Because if you make people more self-serving, you can control them,
Yep.
And then number 11, I laugh, I enjoy all parts of the world, and I do not take myself too seriously.
See, I think this is cool. I think everyone should have that kind of mantra going on.
It says, they shall rejoice are chosen, who sorroweth is not of us. Beauty and strength, leaping laughter, and delicious languor, force and fire are of us.
Languor. Sounds like the name of a great racehorse.
Yeah. Oh, man, it does, doesn't it?
Yep.
It says here, the common defect of all mystical systems previous to that of the Aeon, whose law is Thelema, is that there has been no place for laughter. But the sadness of the mournful mother and the melancholy of the dying man are swept into the limbo of the past by this confident smile of the immortal child. It also says, also, I was in the spirit vision and beheld a pericidal pomp of atheists. Oh, it sounds like a joke. Hold on. Also, I was in the spirit vision and beheld a pericidal pomp of atheists.
Who knew
that? By two and by two in the supernal ecstasy of the stars.
Who knew that a group of atheists were referred to as a pericidal pomp?
A pericidal pomp of atheists.
Wow.
It says they did laugh and rejoice exceedingly, being clad in purple robes and drunken with purple wine, and their whole soul was one purple flower flame of holiness. Wow. Says here, Lord Nose in the Air stumbled over his doorstop. I guess this is a commentary to.
I'm thinking what kind of group then, guys, might he be referring to? The ones in the purple robes and the purple wine.
Sounds to me.
It sounds quite specific.
Catholic.
Yeah, it sounds quite specific, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Says if it must be that one's most sacred shrine be profaned, let it be the clean assault of laughter rather than the slimy smear of sanctimoniousness. All right. Well, there you go. That's his commentary on that.
And that also comes from a book called Magick with a K at the end without tears. Yes. Quite a prolific writer in his time.
Yeah. Until the syphilis ate his brain. I'm sure that's probably what it is. And then towards the end, he was just a total nutbag.
But he was an inspiration to many.
To many. And but again, and you said it best. And Scotty, you too, the things that he did and the doors that he opened are not closed. He admitted it himself. And as a result, they're open and people are knowingly bringing others there with the express purpose of opening their minds to these demons that are just waiting. And that's what.
And then, Joe, on top of that, recharging the location every air quotes here, holy date.
Holy day, right? Exactly. So not only that, but you're going to have these tantric rituals and all sorts of other things going on there. It's just going to be a freaking that's all I can say. It's going to be crazy.
I don't know how the locals will take to that, to be honest with you.
You know what? I'll be honest with you. They may not even know anything's going on, because it is a kind of spacious property. But at the same time, it's what they're bringing and what they're doing to people.
There's already a lot of black magic up there, and it's already, a lot of them pay homage to him. And maybe you notice it more because it was a smaller place, but I think it was still, when you look at it statistically, it was spiking the wrong way. There was an anomaly in the amount that were into the darker kind of stuff,
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. All I know is
and each to their own. Hey, each to their own if you're not harming anyone. But
don't get me wrong, that's great. But I think people also remember that it's not all about what you see and what you hear and what you experience in this physical realm. And I think responsibly, you have a duty to your neighbors that live there to let them know what's going on. So God forbid, if they do take that seriously, that they can do whatever they have to do to ward off whatever's you're letting into the freaking, that's all I'm saying. Just make them aware.
So do you think this story, and because it's in the news now, and Scott was telling me it was another couple of articles on the same story doing the rounds, but this Oak Ridge National Lab, they're trying to open a portal with a neutron beam. Again, we're speculating here, guys, but do you think that's to the same place, that same realm where Crowley was talking to Pan and Lamb and all the rest of these kind of crazy things? You think so, Joe? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. If we're talking about like multiverse or whatever, I mean, who knows? Who knows which realm we're tapping into via different methods?
No, I know.
But either way, I mean, we're opening doors to other realms where entities reside, and maybe one realm might have, benevolent entities. Maybe one realm might have malevolent entities.
But all the while this is happening, all you see is all the conditioning about how should we talk to ET? How should we talk to aliens? What should we say? What would you do? And there just seems to be a lot of emphasis on it. And I think it's because at the same time that this is going on, it's exactly what you're saying. They're opening portals. And I can only imagine the whole when that key to the bottomless pit whoop opens up and poof, these things come out or whatever. I shudder to think how bad that's going to be. You know, I do believe that that's going to be a literal thing. That's just my personal belief. It says that, you know, in the end days, it's going to be unlike any time that's ever been on the earth, period, end of story. It's going to be that bad. That's bad.
And you know, we talk about, you know, like ascension and stuff like that. So, you know, I believe, you know, there's realms and there's dimensions that are, you know, on a higher plane, a higher frequency.
Certainly.
And then there's realms that are at a lower frequency, a lower realm, you know, whatever you want to consider that, like hell or
right.
whatever, you know. But, you know, say we do open up a portal to a realm of a higher dimension. Do you think any of those entities would actually want to come down to a lower dimension?
I can't imagine why.
We don't ever hang out with ants.
Yeah. And so,
yeah, good point.
If we were to open up a portal to, say, a lower dimension, don't you think that those entities would go, "Oh my God, we can finally get out of here. We can go
up."
Yeah, and so that they would want to flood through and come into a, you know.
See, this is where the prime directive comes in, Scott. This is where you have to have the prime directive when you come across one of these dimensions that aren't as, you know, technologically advanced as your own. You know, hopefully they won't notice us, and we can't interfere in them because they have to be left to advance at their own time scale without our intervention, right? We'll go Star Trek with it.
I'm not even talking about on an advancement scale. I'm talking about just like on a spiritual maybe kind of scale or whatever, that they're locked into this dimension of a lower frequency, a lower vibration, just because of how, I guess you could say, evil they are or something, you know what I mean? And so they're kind of stuck in this hell, I guess you could say.
Yeah, because for whatever reason, we don't know. And that's the thing, is this is where we don't understand, you know?
If we punch a hole through and allow them to escape, of course they're going to take that chance. They're going to be like, yes, we're out of here. You know what I mean? And so, and you know, and for us to maybe, you know, if we do manage to figure out a way to punch a hole into a higher realm, none of those entities in that none of those entities in that realm. See, there you go. There you go. You know, you say, look, man, if I have the opportunity, I'm going to that higher realm.
The escalator to heaven? Huh? Yeah. Hello.
Those entities below us or whatever, they're going to take that. They're going to jump on that too, and they'll flood into our realm. So, yeah. And all I'm saying is that those entities at those higher realms, they don't really have a reason to come back down and mess with us, you know, unless they choose to do so for whatever reason. But you're not going to be seeing that kind of a flooding of angels or something, I guess you could say, coming down to our realm, unless, you know, they've made that decision themselves to do it.
Right.
But if you give like demons, demonic entities, any kind of gateway to come through, they're going to come through. You know, so.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think that's what we're turning. We talk about terraforming the planet. I don't think it's for aliens. I think it's for interdimensional creepers that, you know, our dimension, this frequency is going to merge with their one very, very soon.
But are they not aliens too?
Well, it would be, of course, anything not from Earth could be considered alien, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I mean, technically, yeah, they're aliens.
Are they not illegal?
But
no, they're fully documented, and the ones that aren't, the ones that aren't, me and AOC are going to visit down at the parking lot. We're gonna cry lots for them.
We need to build the
space wall.
Yeah, the multiverse wall.
Yep. Crazy times we're living in, boys, I'm telling you. This used to be the kind of stuff that you'd only see in the TV show Fringe. And yet now we're literally living in a world where we're questioning, and are we like merging with other timelines, other universes? I don't know.
What I think is crazy though is that, we're using these like neutrons and particle accelerators and all of this stuff to do things that I think people are capable of just doing with their mind. Crowley probably managed to do what any particle accelerator could probably do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um,
There's different paths to get there.
Yeah, I think when we go somewhere with our mind, we more go there energetically.
Isn't that what they call like astral projection?
Yeah, I think but you scale it up. They're literally trying to create a portal where these things are physically coming to us.
Like walk through.
Yeah.
Like physical.
Yeah, as opposed to just, maybe poltergeist activity and, possessing the odd person here or there. These things will literally be in the room,